This is my favorite place to hang out. Evening times are the best time to come on and have the prawns. So this is once in a while.
Without looking at the Rahu and Ketu axis, which sign and house Rahu is going into and which sign and house Ketu is transiting into, you will not be able to see the overall composition, the effect of all the three transits of Saturn, Jupiter and Rahu Ketu in its entirety. Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan. Once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We have already done separate videos for Rahu and Ketu for their respective transitions into the Aquarius sign and the Leo sign respectively. However, I had mentioned in that video that without looking at the Rahu and Ketu axis and its effect, only seeing the focus of Rahu alone or Ketu alone will not be complete. While it's important to see what is the overall result of Rahu getting into Aquarius, what is the overall result of Ketu getting into Leo, as a composite axis level, it's important to know how Rahu and Ketu's transit into Aquarius and Leo will play out for different rising signs. Now, when you look at the rising sign Aries and what is the effect of the Rahu and Ketu axis, see how Rahu getting into the Aquarius sign is influencing that part of life where you need to focus on, and Ketu's transit into the Leo sign in the 5th house is where you need to let go. So the Rahu Ketu axis always talks about where the focus should be on. Specifically, the material focus should be on, and where should be the spiritual focus, and where you need to let go, where you need to be more charitable, where you need to be more giving, where you need to be more ready for change or transformation or change in the status quo because of Ketu's transit. So Rahu's transit into the Aquarius sign in the 11th house focuses on that your focus in life during this transit of 18 months should be on relationships, on your social network, on trying and getting more material benefits, worldly benefits from your friends, from your social network, working for large brands and working for the masses, which the Aquarius sign represents. While you focus on masses, while you focus on gains from social masses or social connections and focusing on what you can do for the masses, what you need to let go is where Ketu is getting into the opposite house and sign from Rahu, which means what you need to let go is the need and desire for high gains from romantic liaison, from your real estate investments or from your speculative investments, and try to be more giving and try to be more charitable in terms of romance and in terms of speculative investment, so that you indirectly get the better fruits or the gains later on. So Ketu's transit into a sign and houses, when you give up, when you are more charitable, when you are more donating, then the results come to you indirectly in some other form. Rahu's focus is on materialistic results coming from your social network while working for the masses, and also to get new connections, even those connections which are innovative, creative and maybe slightly unusual. Whereas Ketu is saying let go of those relations which are not helpful for you. Try and get into those connections which are more profitable for you on the spiritual level, which really enhances your spirituality, which enhances you at the soul level. So Ketu is surely bringing in that transformation, the change, the status quo in your career, in your romantic liaisons. Now, while Rahu is placed in the 11th house, its 5th aspect, its educative aspect is on the 3rd house and the Gemini sign, which means your focus on the educative front to be able to learn from your experiences through your ability to be able to communicate, to be able to work hard, which the 3rd house represents, and using your communications be able to make gains. On the other hand, the opposite house to the 3rd house is the 9th house, where Ketu's 5th aspect is, which means that you need to let go of the gains that you need from your social connections only at an individual level. So at a faith level, at a belief level, try and be willing to learn from your experiences while being more charitable, while being more giving. On the other hand, Rahu's ninth aspect is on the sign of Libra, on relationships, which means focus on relationships and try and gain in relationships through your social connections. Whereas Ketu's ninth aspect is on the Lagna, which means through giving, through being more charitable, through being more contributing to others, you will also gain in stature and designation. Now, while the aspects of Rahu and the placements of Rahu and Ketu give a certain statement, Jupiter, on the other hand, is involved in both, in some direct ways and indirect ways. Directly, Jupiter and Rahu are on a mutual focus, mutual aspect, which means Jupiter is giving added wisdom to Rahu to be able to get wise attention, wise counsel, and wise connections, and through those wise connections may be able to make gains. On the other hand, Jupiter is also aspecting the Libra sign, where Rahu is also aspecting, which means be wise in what relationships you contribute and you cultivate. On the other hand, Jupiter is also focusing on where Ketu's fifth aspect is on the ninth house. And while Ketu is aspecting the ninth house, Saturn's 10th aspect is also on that, which means the ninth house and Sagittarius sign of learning from your experience, faith and belief will be under focus, while Rahu and Ketu will be in Aquarius and Leo sign respectively. So overall, on the whole, while this looks very complex, keep a focus strongly for this video on Rahu and Ketu's transit into Aquarius and Leo on the 11th and the 5th house. Focus on social connections, focus on making new gains, maybe be more innovative, and focus on status quo change for being able to make most gains for Aries sign people. Now, for Taurus rising sign people, Rahu and Ketu are getting into the 10th and the 4th house axis respectively. Rahu is where your focus and your attention should be. Ketu is where you should be able to give up. So, in this transit for the next 18 months, the focus should be on the masses, which the Aquarius sign represents. However, connected to your career, which means in your career, focus on what you're able to contribute in your career to the department, to the organization and the industry. And while your focus is on your career, where you need to let go on your hunger and greed for more gains from your domestic life, which means in your domestic life, focus on where you can contribute, where you can give, rather than what you attract, what you gain. And Rahu's focus is on career in Aquarius, which means try and do or look for a larger role, a bigger gains to be able to gain materialistically. While Ketu is about giving up and being more charitable, focusing on what you do for the family, for the dependents, and then through that indirectly gain their love and affection. Rahu's fifth aspect is on the Gemini sign, but in the second house. So the effort which the Gemini sign represents in the Kalpurish Kundli is about focusing your attention, your hunger and greed on higher remuneration, higher nutrition, higher bank balance, higher and better livelihood. So in your career, focus on your better livelihood, better nutrition. Whereas Ketu's fifth aspect is on the opposite side to Gemini, which is on the Sagittarius side. So the giving up aspect of Ketu is trying to not gain sudden gains, sudden benefits, but be ready to transform, with the 8th house represents, to be able to transform in such a way that you are able to overcome challenges, obstructions, problems in your career, and opportunities come by for you. Whereas Rahu's 9th aspect is on the relationship, but in the 6th house. So it means cultivate your relationship in such a way that even your enemies, those people who are working against you, become your friends or your well-wishers, or at least they come on your side. So play your cards very well, be tactful and diplomatic, be practical. Whereas Ketu's 9th aspect is on the opposite house to Libra, which is on Aries, which means don't try and gain or focus on gaining for yourself, but be more charitable and be giving to others. If you are able to be more charitable, to be more giving to others, then automatically those people who are not your well-wishers, not your friends, are inimical to you, will come to your side, or you will gain indirectly from them. Now, while Rahu's and Ketu's aspects is on specific signs and houses, Jupiter is only involved in the mix and influencing them indirectly or directly. Jupiter's direct aspect on Rahu is giving you hunger or wisdom to your hunger and gains and your assertiveness. And at the same time, Jupiter is also aspecting the Libra sign where Rahu is aspecting, which means Jupiter is giving you the balance in relationships and how to cultivate the relationship. On the other hand, Jupiter's 7th aspect is on the Sagittarius sign, which Ketu is also aspecting. So Jupiter is giving you the wisdom to overcome certain issues, challenges and problems. Ketu is keeping you away from those certain issues. And Saturn is giving you the patience and perseverance with the 10th aspect to be able to handle this transit very well. So overall for Taurus rising sign people, the focus, the attention should be on the career, should be on your remuneration, should be on your livelihood, and should be on being more giving and being more charitable and being more humble and caring at home. Now for Gemini rising sign people, Rahu's transit into Aquarius is in the 9th house and Ketu's axis transit is into the 3rd house in Leo. So what is the Rahu and Ketu axis telling you? Rahu and Ketu axis tells you where the focus and attention should be by virtue of where Rahu is placed and where you should be giving up and being more charitable and being more giving, where Ketu is transiting into. So Rahu's transit into the 9th house is telling you, but in Aquarius is at a mass level, at a social level, at a societal level, try and get gains from having a strong faith and belief in yourself, in your learning, in your higher learning, in your experiences, in your qualification, in your competence. Whereas Ketu's transit into the opposite house in Leo, in the 3rd house, which means the effort that you do, the leadership and accountability that you demonstrate in Leo should be for others. The effort should be for others. The effort should be through your communication, how you are able to do for others, and through that you are able to make gains because Rahu's focus is on gaining through your higher learning from your high experiences. So the axis is very important. On the other hand, Rahu's 5th aspect is on the Lagna itself, which means the hunger and greed that you have to be able to gain high stature, high dignity, high standing in society will come from your communication skills, which Gemini sign represents. And the opposite house that is transited which is aspected by Ketu's 5th aspect is on the Sagittarius sign in the 7th house. So in your relationship, have faith and believe that you taking accountability, you putting in more effort for you will indirectly raise your stature and gains and standing in society. Now Rahu's 9th aspect is on the Libra sign, which means the gains will come in relationships through your speculative investment, through your romantic liaison, through your ability to be able to have a change in your career. But at the same time, the opposite house that Ketu aspects, the 9th aspect is the Aries sign, which means while you focus on relationship, while you focus on your ability to be able to gain from your relationship through speculative attention, through speculative investments, and also tact and diplomacy, you should be more giving in your relationships with society and try and be a problem solver and healer, not for yourself, which Aries represent, but for others. Then you will be able to make gains. Now, while Rahu and Ketu's transit is affecting specific signs and houses, Jupiter is getting involved in the mix by Jupiter giving more wisdom and balancing the hunger and greed of Rahu to be able to make more wise decisions in your learning, in your experiences. And at the same time also aspecting the Libra sign by Rahu also aspects, which means in your social connections, in your relationships, be wise enough and know where to put your effort, where to make your investments, where to gain in speculative investments, where you look for change in career, in job, and in your relationship. And Jupiter is also aspecting the Sagittarius sign, the own sign where Ketu is also aspecting, giving you more wisdom to be able to handle relationship. While you're more giving here, it will also be with the wisdom to know where to give, whom to give rather than everybody. And Saturn's 10th aspect is giving you the patience and perseverance to be able to pull it off over the 18 months. Now for Cancer rising sign people, Rahu and Ketu are getting into the 8th house axis and the 2nd house axis respectively. Rahu is getting into the Aquarius sign in the 8th house and Ketu is getting into the Leo sign in the 2nd house. So Rahu and Ketu axis is all about where you need to focus and where you need to give up. Rahu is about where you need to focus, where your attention should be, where you should be able to wanting to make gains, where your hunger and greed should be, where all your positive energy should be focused on to derive gains from that house. Ketu on the other hand is Ketu's transit is saying where in that 18 months you need to give up, where you need to be more charitable, where you need to be more giving, and through giving you make gains indirectly. So Rahu's placement in the 8th house, which means that look for hidden opportunities, look for those opportunities which have eluded you for so far, and keep your eye out for sudden issues, sudden problems, sudden challenges also, but which you should be able to overcome by being more giving, which Ketu represents. But also look at sudden opportunities. Keep an eye out for those gains which may come by from unknown sources. So when you keep an eye out, only then you will be able to identify. If you're not focused, you will not be able to identify. So by being more giving, by being more charitable, and try and not focus too much on money. Ketu getting into the second house of nutrition, but in Leo sign means take more responsibility and accountability for your own earning. But don't focus too much more on money, but look at opportunities which Rahu represents. So if you're looking at opportunities, if you're looking at how you're going to gain from those sudden opportunities that are coming by for you, then you'll automatically be able to make gains indirectly in your remuneration, in your livelihood, and your bank balance will also increase. But the focus should be on the role, the focus should be on what you're delivering, the focus should be on what you're doing for the masses rather than on the money. And Rahu's fifth aspect is on the Gemini sign. So the educative axis aspect of Rahu on the Gemini sign in the 12th house means through your communication, be able to gain and make opportunities in foreign lands, with foreign connections, with foreign clients, even those connections which you don't get connected to on a day-to-day basis. Whereas the opposite house, where Ketu's fifth aspect is on the Sagittarius sign. So Ketu's aspect is about being more giving, being more charitable, where your opposition is concerned, where your competition is concerned, where you be more charitable, be giving, use your superior experiences, your high experiences to be able to manage them, so that you gain indirectly over a period of time, and even your enemies let go of the animosity towards you, and your relationships should be good. Rahu's ninth aspect is on relationships. So the zodiac is telling you focus on the relationships that you are attaining. Focus on the relationship in your domestic life, so that you don't have to give too much attention to your career or to work. Rather than that, Ketu saying try to be more giving, be more charitable at your work, with your superiors, with your people who work with you, with your colleagues. Then the opportunity will automatically come to you directly or indirectly. There may be people who may not be working with you or even working with you who may come with a sudden opportunity for you to be able to make more assets in the long run. So overall, the Rahu and Ketu's axis is giving you a chance of indirectly making money, increasing your livelihood, increasing your remuneration, while opportunities are coming out for you. Now, Jupiter is getting into the mix by getting involved with both Rahu and Ketu directly or indirectly. Jupiter's mutual aspect with Rahu is giving the wisdom and the hunger is balanced to a large extent, and Jupiter is expanding the wise, the wisdom, the positive orientation of Rahu rather than the negative. And Jupiter is also aspecting the Libra sign where Rahu is aspecting. So Jupiter is balancing what relations, what equations, new equations Rahu will be creating, and Jupiter is giving it wisdom so that you don't get into sudden issues, sudden problems because of not selecting your relations wisely. While Jupiter's seventh aspect is also on the Sagittarius sign where Ketu is aspecting. So while you will be more giving in with people who are working opposite you or who are in competition with you, Jupiter is saying handle them wisely, be more charitable and be more giving wisely. And Saturn's 10th aspect also on the Sagittarius sign is giving you the patience, the perseverance to be able to have the wherewithal to overcome your competition gradually, so that you make more gains for Cancer rising sign people. Now, for those who are in Leo rising sign people, Rahu is getting into the Aquarius sign but in the 7th house, while the Ketu's axis is in the Leo sign in the Lagna. Now, what does the Rahu and Ketu axis tell you? Rahu's axis or Rahu's placement in a house tells you where the focus, the hunger, the greed, the attention should be. And Ketu's axis or Ketu's placement is telling you where the focus and attention should be less on yourself but more for others. So Rahu's focus is on others here, which is the 7th house. So it says that the gains will come from your teamwork, the gains will come from others, the gains will come from who you're partnering with whom you're able to work, with whom you're able to create a good equation, rather than focusing on the self. Ketu in the Lagna in the self, which means take accountability and responsibility, which Leo sign represents, to where you are in life right now, what your stature is, what your dignity is, rather than putting the blame on others. Rahu's access or Rahu's focus on others shows that try and use the relationships diplomatically, tactfully to be able to make gains and try to get the right partnerships, get the right acquaintances, get the right teamwork. So team up well is what Rahu's attention is saying. Now Rahu's fourth aspect is on the Gemini sign, but in the 11th house. So Rahu's aspect on the 11th house in the Gemini sign is all about how through your communication, unusual communication, creative communication, charming communication, you will be able to win people towards your side, and you will be able to make new connections and unusual connections also, but these will be gain making connections for you. On the other hand, the opposite house, where Ketu's fifth aspect is on the Sagittarius sign, talks about where your focus should be on, where you need to let go. To be able to make gains in the social arena, you have to let go on the focus on your romantic liaison, which means in your romantic liaison, the focus should not be on yourself, but on the partner, to be more giving, to be more charitable. Then you will see that you will indirectly be able to get the commitment and the support of the partner, so that you can focus on the social network and to be able to make gains from there. Jupiter's mutual aspect with Rahu is balancing Rahu's hunger and greed, so that you make wise connections, wise teamwork. While Jupiter also aspecting the Libra sign along with Rahu is saying where the relationship, where the effort, the third house effort, and Rahu's ninth aspect is showing where the educative, effort-wise decision making that you do connected to relationship has to be tempered with wisdom, choosing wisely. And Jupiter is also aspecting the Sagittarius sign, where Ketu is aspecting, giving you the wisdom to be able to know where to let go and how to let go of some relations which are not serving you, and to be able to be more giving in your current romantic relations, so that you are seen as a wise person, you are seen as a committed person, so that the romantic liaison become even more stronger. And Saturn's 10th aspect is giving you the patience and perseverance to be able to do that. Now, for Virgo rising sign people, when Rahu is getting into the Aquarius sign in the 6th house, the opposite house is where Ketu is getting into Leo in the 12th house. Now, while we have done Rahu and Ketu in videos individually, what is the axis telling you in the transit? Rahu's transit shows you where the focus, the attention should be, where you need to devote your energies. Ketu's transit shows where you need to focus less on yourself, but should be more giving, more charitable, more donating for others, and even for higher purpose. So Rahu's focus is on hunger and greed, to be able to make gains from your service and to be able to overcome competition, to have a very tactful diplomatic relations with those people who are working with you, your team members, and to have a balanced relationship with them, and to be able to use tact and diplomacy to be able to overcome those people who are acting behind your back, who don't wish well for you, or who may be your competitors. On the other hand, Ketu's focus should be on others, to be more giving, to be more charitable, so that the problems, the issues, the higher expenses and the wasteful effort that comes from the 12th house is avoided. And when you are being more charitable and being more donating to others, the problems, the issues of the 12th house are also kept away from you. Now, Rahu's fifth aspect is on the Gemini sign in the 10th house, which means in your effort to overcome competition, to gain from competition, to be able to gain in service, communication is the key. Communication at work is the key. Whereas the opposite house, where Jupiter's fifth aspect is on the Sagittarius sign. So it says, have the faith and belief in your home, in your domestic life, in your partner. Have that faith and belief, have the higher faith and belief, have the higher experiences, have the higher learning. So when you focus on that, and to be more charitable, to be more giving in your domestic life, the career will automatically gain. Because it is the yin and yang, these are opposite energies. Rahu's ninth aspect is on the relationship front, but on the second house of earning. So the zodiac is telling you that in the transit, Rahu's focus on the service will also give you gains through your relationship, to be able to give you higher remuneration, to higher earning, higher livelihood, more money in the bank. So focus on your relationship connected to service, and then your remuneration will also increase, your livelihood will also increase. Whereas the opposite house, where Ketu is focusing on, is on the 8th house. So keep an eye out for sudden issues and problems coming when you're focused too much on money or nutrition. So keep an eye out for those people who are creating issues for you. Ketu will be helping you to be able to overcome those challenges with the wisdom that Jupiter will be able to offer, where Ketu's transit is also, Ketu's aspect is also on the Sagittarius sign, on faith and belief, and Jupiter signs Jupiter is also aspecting his own sign, and Jupiter is also balancing the ability to be able to create relationship where Rahu is aspecting connected to career and giving you the wisdom and expansion in your career. And Saturn's 10th aspect on Sagittarius sign is also giving you patience and perseverance in your teamwork, in your partnership, to be able to focus more on being charitable and keeping the patience and perseverance in your domestic life so that you gain in your career. Now for Libra rising sign people, what is the Rahu and Ketu Axis telling you? Rahu's transit into the 5th house in Aquarius and Ketu's transit into the 11th house in Leo is giving you specific instructions on how to deal with this axis in this current or this over the next 18 months. Rahu's transit into the Aquarius sign but in the 5th house says that your relationship is focused on the masses, on wanting to do more for the masses and having the creativity. The 5th house is also a house of creativity, what you like to do, what you love to do, but it is also the platform on which you perform. So on the world for platform, on the social platform, perform with the ability to be able to make gains from those connections that you make, from the new equations that you make, even romantic liaison that you make, or the new interests that you cultivate in new ventures, maybe even speculative ones. Whereas Ketu's transit into Leo sign says that you take a responsibility and accountability for how you're contributing to masses rather than focusing on yourself. Then the gains of the 5th house will come to you only when you let go of the focus on the 11th house. So in your social network, don't try to keep the focus on you, but how are you helping others? Because Rahu is also in the Aquarius sign, which is the 11th house of the Kalpurush Kundi. So this is a very telling transit for Libra sign people where Rahu is getting into the Aquarius sign represented by the natural 11th house but in the 5th house for Libra, and Ketu is getting into the Aquarius sign but in the 5th sign which is Leo. So this is a very, very telling transit. Now Rahu's 5th aspect is on the Gemini sign in the 9th house. So the zodiac is telling you that the gains that are going to come to you are going to come through your communication. Jupiter is expanding the communication. Rahu is giving you gains, both gains from the 5th house as well as the 9th house. So the higher gains are coming to you with higher learning, higher competition, higher experiences also, and Jupiter expanding that. Whereas the opposite house is being compensated by Ketu's 9th aspect in the 9th sign, which is the effort that you do in your social life connected to social connections should be for others. When you do the effort for others, then through your faith and belief, you will be able to make higher gains. Now, while Rahu and Ketu's focus is on specific signs and houses, Rahu's aspect on the Libra sign is also giving you higher focus on the relationship aspect, and so through your relationship you will be able to make more gains and be able to also generate a higher stature, higher dignity for you. Whereas the opposite house where Ketu's 9th aspect is on the Aries sign, which means Aries sign is a sign of working to be able to gain, to be able to problem solve, to be healing. However, Ketu's 9th aspect is saying that the problem solving, the healing should be for others rather than yourself. And Jupiter is getting into the mix by the mutual aspect with Rahu is giving you the wisdom to be able to handle gains, handle new relations, handle the creativity, handle new expressions with wisdom. And Jupiter also aspecting the Libra sign along with Rahu, which means Jupiter is expanding the ability of Rahu to be able to improve your stature, improve your standing in society, improve your dignity. And Rahu is also aspecting the Sagittarius sign with Ketu is also aspecting, giving you the wisdom to be able to use your effort through your communication to be able to make higher gains. And Saturn's 10th aspect is giving you the patience and perseverance to be able to handle this transit for giving more gains. Now for Scorpio rising sign people, Rahu and Ketu's transit is very unique. Firstly, Rahu is getting into the Aquarius sign but in the 4th house. So what is the Rahu and Ketu transit? An axis saying Rahu's axis tells you where the focus and attention should be, where you should be giving all your positive energies. Ketu's transit into a house says where you should be letting go, where you should be ready for more transformation, where you should be ready for change in the status quo. So only when you let go of one will the status quo change. So Rahu's focus is on the domestic front, on the ability to be able to try and make gains in your assets, improve your assets, make gains through your assets, And look out for an opportunity, sudden opportunities also which come from the 8th house, specifically for those people who have any job or service or business connected to the 8th house. This is a wonderful time for them to be able to have the hunger and greed to be able to make gains from the 8th house, from sudden opportunities to be able to make more assets, to be able to make more conveniences, connected to even foreign lands through your relationships. Whereas Ketu's focus in the Leo sign, which says take the leadership and accountability, but to do for more others, to be more charitable for others. Only then will you be able to make gains for Rahu. So the less you focus on where Ketu is, the more gains you will make from where Rahu is. That's what the axis is all about. If you focus too much where Ketu is, then the ability of Rahu to make gains from the opposite house is lessened. So Ketu's focus and attention in Leo should be take the leadership and accountability to move for your team, to do more for your department, to do more for the organization, and then indirectly you will also be able to make gains in your remuneration through your livelihood, through your earning potential also. Rahu's other aspect on Libra means it is also balancing relationships, which is also connected to your domestic life, and looking at out for an opportunity in foreign lands as well. Whereas the opposite house where Ketu is focusing on in the 6th house says, in your career, in your service, let go of the focus on self and problem solve, which the Aries sign represents, and to make gains, with the Aries sign represents for those people who work below you, under you, for the team, for the department, and indirectly the gains will come to you. Indirectly the remuneration, the livelihood will also come to you. Now Jupiter is getting into the mix by firstly balancing Jupiter with its energy is balancing Rahu's energy in the 4th house, which means while you are hunger and greed to be able to make gains in assets, do it or take the decision more wisely. Jupiter is giving more wisdom to be able to manage your assets better, to be able to focus on your assets better, to be able to make the speculative investments better, and giving you the wisdom to handle the domestic affairs better, getting into a relationship also better, maybe with people who are little unusual, a little unique, to be able to get into a partnership or get into a relationship with. Jupiter at the same time is also balancing where Rahu's aspect is on the Libra sign, which means in the Libra sign, the focus of Jupiter is saying handle your relationships in such a manner that you don't get wasted, or your efforts don't go wasted, or you don't make losses, because Jupiter's aspect is also where Rahu's 9th aspect is. So be ready to learn, be ready to be able to change, be ready to be able to take wise decisions. And Jupiter's 7th aspect is also where Ketu is aspecting, which means Jupiter is giving you the wisdom. While you're more charitable, while you're being more giving in terms of your livelihood and focusing more on role and department rather than remuneration, Jupiter is allowing you to make the wise decisions so that your remuneration is not loss making, but it is expanded through your ability to be able to focus more on your ability to perform. The money comes to you. And Saturn's 10th aspect is giving you the patience and perseverance to be able to handle this 18 months so that your ability to be able to get better remuneration and livelihood is more stable. Now, for those people who are born in the Sagittarius rising sign, what is the Rahu and Ketu axis telling you? Rahu's axis is telling you where the focus and attention should be, whereas Ketu's focus and attention should be on where you need to let go, where you need to be more charitable. Only then does the Rahu and Ketu axis work well. But unless you are being more giving in where the Ketu's transit is, Rahu's ability to be able to make gains from where it goes into will be lessened. A number of times we don't learn this. So the biggest lesson for Sagittarius people will be, as well as for other signs, is focus where your Rahu is and have less focus on self where Ketu is. So where Ketu is, focus on being more charitable, being more giving, take more leadership and responsibility, which Leo represents, to be able to do more for others. When you do that, automatically your stature, your standing in society will increase where Ketu is aspecting. So when you let go of the hunger and greed to focus on self, automatically the zodiac awards you. And Rahu's focus on the 3rd house is the effort should be for in such a manner that you're more creative. You are more ambitious, but you're also having a very innovative, creative approach to how you handle issues or your career or your work or your vocation or your business connected to Aquarius sign, which is to the masses. So effort through your communication on your masses, on your ability to work with people, which Rahu is representing, which is fifth aspect on the seventh house gives you an ability through your communication skills to be able to make gains from society, from the masses, and through relationships, where Rahu with his ninth aspect is aspecting on the 11th house. So Rahu is placed in the 11th sign. Rahu is aspecting the 11th house, but in the sign of relationship. So create more relationships, focus more on the relationship with society through social network to be able to make gains from your effort, and through your ability to be able to make more better relations through your communication skills. Now, while Rahu and Ketu's focus on aspect is on individual signs and aspects. For example, Ketu's ninth aspect is on the Aries sign. So the problem solving that you do, the ability to make gains that you do, the go-getting spirit, the ability to win that you have for Aries sign should not be for self, but for others, using your faith and belief. And when you do more for others and you are taking the responsibility, then your stature increases indirectly. Now, Jupiter gets into the mix by one, ability to give more wisdom to Jupiter through Jupiter's aspect on Rahu is enhanced. So Rahu will take the wise decisions through your effort, through your ability to be able to leave your influence on others, to be able to make gains from others. And Jupiter is also aspecting the Libra sign in the 11th house. So the balancing the ability of Rahu to create relations, unusual ones, creative ones also with the extended society, with the masses, and use that connection, use the relationship to be able to make gain through your partnership, through your effort, through your ability to make new acquaintances, with Rahu is also aspecting. And Jupiter is also aspecting the Sagittarius sign, the Ketu is also aspecting, which means even while you're letting go the focus on others, Jupiter is expanding your gaining indirectly from higher stature standing in society, because Jupiter is aspecting his own sign of Sagittarius. And Saturn gets into the mix by giving you the patience and perseverance over the 18 months to be able to be more steady, to be more committed, to be more stable, to be able to make those gains. Now, for Capricorn rising sign people, Rahu and Ketu's transit is on where you need to focus, on where you need to let go. Remember that if you don't focus on where Rahu is, but try and focus where Ketu is getting into, then the yin and yang energy is not balanced. The axis of Rahu and Ketu, it's all about where you need to focus, where Rahu is, and where you need to let go where Ketu is. Because if you do the opposite, you focus where Ketu is rather than focusing where Rahu is, then you will feel let down, you will feel frustrated, because Ketu is not going to give you those results which Rahu can, because of Rahu's ability to be able to be more practical, to be more creative, to be more innovative in the areas of the house where it gets into. So for the Capricorn rising sign people, Rahu getting into Aquarius in the second house is where the focus and attention should be. So the attention and focus for Capricorn rising sign people should be on your livelihood, on your remuneration, for higher earning, and also for saving. Better bank balance. So when you focus on better earning, better livelihood, better remuneration, better nutrition, then you will be able to see that will come through only keeping less focus on self where problems are concerned. Try and solve problems for others. Try and solve problems for team members. Try and solve problems for your department. Try and solve problems for your organization. Then you will see indirectly your remuneration, your livelihood will also increase, because Rahu's ninth aspect is on the sign of Libra in the 10th house. So through your ability to be able to make better relations by helping solve problems for others. Why problems? Because Ketu's ninth aspect is on the sign of Aries. Aries is also about problem solving, about the go-getting energy, about achieving, but yeah, achieving for others. And when you achieve for others, Rahu will be able to focus on relationships connected to the 10th house through your career, and then to be able to make better remuneration, make better gain through even your service. Because Rahu's fifth aspect is on the Gemini sign in the 6th house of service through communication. So making better relations through your communication with those people who work under you, with those people who are your competitors, who are competing for the same attention, for the same gains, for the same maybe place in society, in career. So you will be able to make better gains and be able to make gains from those people who are your competitors through your ability to be able to make relations, because you're solving problems for them. Okay. And Ketu's ninth aspect on the 12th house is keeping you away from problems, challenges, issues connected to foreign lands, foreign clients, even foreign companies. Now, Jupiter is getting into the mix by firstly diluting the overzealousness, over hunger and greed of Rahu, and giving you the wisdom to be able to handle matters of money, livelihood, earning better. And Jupiter also aspecting the Libra sign in the 10th house, where Rahu is also aspecting, is giving you the balance in how to handle issues at work through more better wisdom, through better creativity, through better earning, through better innovation, to be able to earn better. And Jupiter is also balancing how much you should let go of and do it wisely, so that you don't let go too much and you lose in the mix. So overall, Jupiter is balancing the energies of Rahu and Ketu, and Saturn's 10th aspect on Sagittarius is giving you the patience and perseverance to be able to handle issues, challenges, problems of foreign lands, foreign clients, foreign companies, so that you are able to get better and stable gains and stable results. Now, for Aquarius rising sign people, Rahu is getting into the Lagna, into the first house itself, and Ketu is getting into the Leo sign in the 7th house. Now, what does the Rahu and Ketu axis tell you? Rahu and Ketu's axis tells you where the focus and attention should be, where Rahu is, and where you need to let go, where you need to be more charitable, where you need to look at more transformation and change, where Ketu is. If you do the opposite, if you focus on where Ketu is, rather than where Rahu is, then you get frustrated, you don't get the good results, you don't get the gains that are coming from the Rahu and Ketu axis during that transit. So Rahu getting into Aquarius in the Lagna for Aquarius rising sign people is saying focus on trying to gain better standing, higher remuneration, better stature, better dignity in society by focusing on masses, how much you are able to compete, be able to use your competency for the masses, to benefit the masses, to gain, for the masses to gain indirectly for yourself. So keep the attention on the masses, on your social connections, on your creativity, on your unusual connections, on unusual acquaintances, so that you are able to increase the stature, standing in society, to new roles coming in through those connections. Specifically because Rahu's 5th aspect is on the Gemini sign. So use your communication skills with creativity, with innovation, because the 5th house is also the platform given to you to be able to communicate and perform. So use your competency to be able to perform through relationships, which Rahu's 9th aspect is giving you on the Libra sign in the 9th house. So through your ability to be able to create new acquaintances, new relationships, to be able to make gains of the 9th house. The 5th house, where our aspects is also giving you an opportunity sometimes to get into new relationships, romantic relationships also, and make gains from them. Directly or indirectly, one relationship may bring you new energy, new gains, more positive energy as well. Whereas Ketu's focus, the 5th house focus on Sagittarius sign, is telling you where you need to be able to be more giving to society using your higher learning, high experiences, to make gains for others, and indirectly be able to make better partnerships, better teamwork, better acquaintances, better connections. And Ketu's 9th aspect on Aries in the 3rd house means the effort that the 3rd house represents in problem solving, which Aries represents, to be able to make gains, to have the go-getting energy, to have the higher motivation, high ambition, which Aries represents. So the effort should be on your ability to be able to do for others, and then through your ability to do for others, through the ability to do for society, then gain higher status and standing in society indirectly. Now Jupiter is getting into the mix by giving the higher wisdom to Rahu, to be able to make the right wise decisions, to be able to gain in the higher stature, higher standing in society. And Jupiter is expanding the ability to be able to make gains during this time. So this is a very important transit of Rahu and Ketu into Aquarius and Leo for Aquarius rising sign people. And Jupiter is also balancing Rahu's energy and the ability to be able to make new relations and to get into new romantic liaison, also to be able to make gains without losing the energy, the focus, and not getting into the wrong relations. Jupiter is also balancing the Sagittarius sign energy, where Ketu is also aspecting, so that the new connection that you make, where you will be more giving and charitable to masses, should be with wisely rather than giving to others. Choose those connections well, choose those connections wisely, where you need to be able to focus and contribute. And Saturn is getting into the mix by aspecting the Sagittarius sign with the 10th aspect, giving you the patience, the perseverance, the stability and commitment to ride through these 18 months, which are very high gain making period for Aquarius rising sign people. Now, last but not the least, for Pisces rising sign people, what is Rahu and Ketu's Axis transit telling you? Rahu getting into the Aquarius sign in the 11th house is telling you that this transit is where you need to focus on. Remember, wherever Rahu transits, there is where you need to focus on. Wherever Ketu transits, that is where you need to be more giving. That is where you need to be ready for transformation. That is where you need to be ready for more change. Change through transformation to be able to let go and then to be able to make gains from where Rahu is. If you do the opposite, you focus on where Ketu is transiting and not focus on where Rahu is, then you will feel frustrated, you will feel lost out, you will not be able to make the best gains. So Rahu and Ketu's transit should always be looked at as where to focus and where to let go. Now Rahu getting into the 12th house in Aquarius shows that for the masses, you need to do something more creative, more innovative to be able to contribute in such a manner that you make high gains. You do less wasteful expenditure, you focus or you waste your effort less for others, but do more for self. Through how you're utilizing your competency for the masses and make gains through it. Specifically because Rahu's 5th aspect is on the Gemini sign in the 4th house. So making new connections, even ability to be able to make more assets through ability to be able to use innovative communication the Gemini sign represents. And using relationships with the Libra sign represents, but in the 8th house, which means sudden opportunities may come to you in foreign lands with foreign clients also, or an individual role, or working in MNCs, or working in foreign companies, or working far away from your birthland to be able to make gains and through your relations. So through your relations, new opportunity may come by for you. Some old acquaintance may come and tell you, do you want to do this? Do you want to work on a new project? Do you want to work with us? And through that relationship, you will be able to make more gains and be able to focus on masses using your competency and also to make more assets through your communication skills. However, Ketu's aspect on the Aries sign in the 2nd house, Aries also represents where you need to be able to be very motivated, where you have the go-getting spirit, where you need to be more problem solving. But here, Ketu's 9th aspect is telling you where you need to be more charitable, more giving and problem solving for others. If you do that, then the higher remuneration, higher livelihood, higher earning will also come to you, because here the indirect fruits of labor will come to you because you are focusing on others, problem solving for others in the 6th house of competition, of those people who are working against you, who are more inimical. So letting and shedding the negative baggage, because Ketu is getting into the 6th house. So shedding the negative baggage that you are carrying for others, for people who are working against you, are inimical to you. And through that, and indirectly gaining while problem solving for others through your higher remuneration, indirectly getting higher livelihood also through your career, because Ketu's 5th aspect is on the 10th house in the Sagittarius sign. So using a higher learning, higher qualification to be able to make gains through new opportunities which Rahu is able to identify through your ability to be able to communicate. Now, Jupiter is getting into the mix by Jupiter aspecting Rahu in mutual aspect and balancing where you need to contribute and where you need to pull your hand, because the 12th house is also the house of waste and excess. So Jupiter is giving you the wisdom where to focus on the effort and to be able to make gains of the 12th house rather than get into a wasteful effort, a wasteful expenses effort. And Jupiter is also aspecting your ability to what opportunities you need to be able to look at through wisdom rather than suddenly barging into some new opportunity which comes because the Rahu identifies it without having the balance or whether the opportunity is really useful to you or not, through your ability to be able to strike better counsel, get wise counsel from your relationship. Jupiter is also aspecting the 10th house and the Sagittarius sign, its own sign, balancing how much you will give up in your career, in your ability to be able to focus to or contribute to the organization and department. So Jupiter is giving you the wisdom how to handle that energy and to do it wisely rather than to do it without thinking. So Jupiter is overall balancing and adding the positive spin to Rahu and Ketu, and Saturn gets into the mix with his 10th aspect, giving you the patience and the perseverance and the stability and the commitment to be able to make highest gains in your career. So friends, now that we have seen how Rahu and Ketu's transit into different houses, into different axes for different rising signs is giving you a plethora of opportunities, is giving you where the status quo should be changing, where the transformation is coming, where the focus and attention should be able to make highest gains. Do look into your own horoscopes where in what dignity Rahu and Ketu are placed, in what conjunctions, what doshas or yogas they are placed in, because they will bring in your own flavor. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time, some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.